boy Positive B. White, and I want to welcome you back to Conversations with Positive B. White. How are you handling the dating scene?
I'm done.
Basically, I've been very blessed being in the situations that I've been in.
Excuse me, I don't want businesswoman, I want to say serial entrepreneur. She does.
And then I also want to get into it, fatherhood.
My name is Positive B. White, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Stone Mountain. I am 36 years old. I turned 37 on August the 22nd. I got an interesting name like Positive B. White, actually from work. The type of job that I do, I have to sign my name a lot. And when I was coming up with a name for my brand, I wanted something that really stuck out. And I wanted something that put me into a unique box and set me apart from others. So when I came up with the name, at work I signed my name B. White to shorten it up. So when I came up with the name, I said, well, let me put something that really identifies who I am. So I said, let me put positive in front of it, and that's henceforth you got the name Positive B. White. It's safe to say that I'm a positive individual. I think my ability to be optimistic and my ability to look at things from a positive perspective has helped to put me in a box away from others. And I think that's unique because instead of being negative about situations, I always look for the positive and try to pull the positive out of a negative situation so that I can learn from it and keep moving forward. I'm a Georgia boy. I'm Atlanta everything. Atlanta Braves, Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta everything, Georgia Bulldogs. And speaking of the Georgia Bulldogs, we're the two-time NCAA champions. So I'm really proud to be born and raised here and be a part of that whole culture. When I hear the word Kenny Anderson, I think basketball. And I think Atlanta Hawks and what we need here in Atlanta right now. We need a powerhouse player that could take us to the next level and play alongside Trae Young. Oh man, Kenny Anderson put Georgia Tech on the map. Left-handed guard, real smooth player, silky smooth. He was a dead-eye shooter, could handle the ball. Probably one of the best guards that came out of Georgia Tech. Spud Webb was a great athlete, great athlete. Not tall in stature, but he had a huge heart and he would play hard as hell. Just being honest with you, Spud Webb. And he could dunk that basketball like no other. Andre Rison is a good wide receiver out at the Atlanta Falcons. And tell you a funny story about Andre Rison. I actually went to school with his sons. So shout out to my boy Brandon. He's also a B. Shout out to the Rison boys. Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight reel. Probably one of the greatest players to put on Atlanta Hawks uniform. I hate he didn't win a championship, but watching him and Michael Jordan go back and forth is probably one of the most unique and powerful things I saw coming up watching Atlanta Hawks. Unfortunately, I do remember the Omni, but I didn't get a chance to watch a game in the Omni. It was tore down by the time I got a chance to actually get down and watch the Hawks play. But I heard a lot of things about the Omni, and I heard it was time for a change. I actually see Dikembe Mutombo quite often at the airport. He's always coming through, catching flights. But when you had Dikembe Mutombo down in the paint for the Hawks, he was an enforcer. He would block shots, he would get rebounds, he could shoot free throws. He was really dominant at what he did, being a big man for the Atlanta Hawks. Shout out to Jamal Anderson, the man who came up and gave us the dirty bird. I remember watching him play, and I couldn't wait for him to get into the end zone so I could see that dirty bird. Shout out to Jamal Anderson. Hope he's doing well nowadays. Prime-Time 21. He left his mark here as being one of the greatest cornerbacks to play for the Atlanta Falcons. Shut down corner. Just don't throw the ball to his side. Quarterbacks feared Prime-Time 21, and it was truly an honor to watch him in his greatness for the Atlanta Falcons. Prime-Time played for the Braves, 49ers, Baltimore Ravens, but he did play for the Braves, two-sport athlete. Shout out to Prime. 10 artists that represent the A. Wow. Andre 3000, Big Boy, oh man, OutKast. OutKast made waves in the 1990s and the early 2000s, coming out with that ATL sound that was like no other. You know, during Freaknik, you know, OutKast was their music was bumping. I mean, they put out a whole bunch of albums, and they are definitely truly remarkable and need to be mentioned in the ATL music scene. Southern Playalistic, Cadillac Music, that's when I heard OutKast, and that's when I knew that they were here, and they were here to stay. Andre 3000, Big Boy, they came out hard with that album, and they've been moving ever since. Speaking on OutKast, I can remember riding around and my cousin, he had a Honda with 212s in the back. I mean, them things was back there knocking. And I remember listening to OutKast going down I-20. So that thing just stuck in my mind as I got older. T.I versus T.I.P, I have to say I prefer T.I. And the reason I prefer T.I is because T.I actually did a real solid thing known as Tip. Also, you got another artist by the way of Tip. So what T.I did was he decided to drop the P and just be known as T.I. So he did a very remarkable thing and a respectful thing to respect one of his OGs. Q-Tip, he dropped the P from his name and just went with T.I. Chris Lover Love is Ludacris. Ludacris started off on the radio, doing his thing as a radio personality. He transitioned from a radio personality to a musical artist, and then from musical artist, he's now an actor. So shout out to Ludacris for transitioning himself and putting himself in a better place. Move! Get out the way! I say number 4, I gotta go with my man Jeezy. Get him, Jeezy, I got him. Get him, Jeezy, I got him. You gotta go with Jeezy. Jeezy came out hard with Trap or Die, and he's still coming out hard. Shout out to Jeezy. Gotta put him on the list. Man, I can remember Trap or Die. I think that came out, I think that came out 04, 05-ish, so that was college time. So I remember listening to Jeezy all through college, and he pretty much got us through college with those albums. He was coming out with mixtapes, and that'll lead me into my next artist, Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane put out some tough mixtapes. I'm talking about back-to-back tough mixtapes. I can remember going to watch him perform, man. Shout out to Gucci. Yeah, I can just remember going to, what's that club? Prime-Time. If y'all remember Prime-Time, and Gucci was shut down Prime-Time. Club Chocolate. Yeah, Gucci was tough. Man, Freaknik in the 90s was crazy. It was, you know, you were liable to see, you know, girls standing on top of cars, twerking. I mean, topless. You was able to see, you was seeing all kind of stuff, man. Cars everywhere, cars parked on the side of the road. A lot of old schools, heavy Chevys, big rim culture. It was a crazy time. It was definitely a crazy time. I'm on the outskirts of outside of 285, so I wouldn't classify myself as being actually from the city of Atlanta, but I would say I'm from the outskirts. I'm from the east side, outside of Atlanta, which is, you know, Latonia, Stone Mountain area. I wouldn't classify myself as being from the city, the city of Atlanta, but I would say, you know, I'm on the outskirts. I'm from the east side of Atlanta. Yeah, I was raised in a traditional 2-parent home, a loving mother and father. They've been married almost 40 years. Growing up, you know, they taught us the principles and morals, you know, being on time, coming with your best foot forward, giving it your best. And ultimately, I think that's what helped create the man I am today, being raised by 2 loving parents. Yeah, I actually have an older sister. few years older than me, who is definitely an inspiration to me. My transition from being a boy into manhood was pretty solid, and I think it was pretty solid because of the examples I had who taught me the ropes. Day one, it was my father. He told me, left from right, right from wrong. And then I had a solid list of uncles, aunties, and older cousins who were there to help show me the ropes and guide me along the way. I would tell the young man who isn't sure about college, you have other options. College is very important. In my eyes, I think it's very important because I think education is what unlocks your way to your future. You get a chance to learn. You get a chance to learn how to take care of yourself, breaking away from your parents, becoming into that adulthood phase. So I think college is very important, but if you don't necessarily see college as the way for you, you got trade schools where you can go pick up a trade, HVAC, you can go to barber school, you can do different things. There's different things you can do. And also, if school is not what you see in your future, you have the military, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, or you can join the workforce. But really, you have to understand what your goals are and what you want to do with your life and figure out the best plan of action for you. My college path led me to my professional life because I went to school and studied business marketing, and I also had a minor in mass communications. And I think I'm able to use both of those in my professional career because learning the principles of business, I learned how to negotiate deals, how to set up contracts. I learned the business terms, asset versus a liability, accounts payable, accounts receivable. I learned those different things while I was in college. And also, mass communication is basically communicating to a large audience, and it's a part of public relations and being able to broadcast yourself and build a brand to a large group of people. Positive, Passionate, and Motivated is an advertising company where we advertise and promote individuals who are staying positive and following their passion within the community. What we do is we go out, we find their story, and we basically broadcast their story and figure out how we can bridge the gap between them and brand building, and utilizing our specific techniques, most commonly through social media, and using that to advertise their brand and promote what it is they do. Positive, Passionate, Motivated was established in 2014. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to establish and create something where I can put out positive content and be a positive figure in the community and help highlight individuals' success stories so we can figure out how they got started and what ultimately prompted them to get into the field of their choice. Hey, if you're looking to get more exposure and you want to build your brand and highlight and promote your brand, check us out at Positive, Passionate, Motivated. We're on YouTube, Facebook, IG. Give us a follow, subscribe to the channel, and check us out. We'll help get you to the next level. We'll advertise and promote you and get you out there to the masses. So I definitely want to highlight how I got started and why I founded Positive, Passionate, Motivated. And that came from my start working with the Atlanta Falcons in the public relations department. Here I was able to interview players and get their backstory, figure out how they got started, and ultimately get to know the player and where they came from, upbringing, and their journey to get to the NFL. So during that time, I was able to work with them and news outlets. When news outlets wanted to interview players, they would contact me, and I would reach out to the player and set up a face-to-face interview so they can sit down and interview players. So that's how I got my start with the Atlanta Falcons in the public relations department. I think it's very important to have a solid father in the household, and not only just father, but the husband, wife, two-parent role is very important because I think it's crucial in the raising and upbringing of a child in this environment, because ultimately it's things that a mother can teach a child that a father can't, and vice versa. It's things that a father can teach a child that a mother can't. So I think it's very important to have that mother-father, husband-father role when raising up children in this day of age. So father figure, shout out to my boy, Reggie, the owner of Father Figure Apparel. And one thing I want to highlight, being a father figure is a mantra that he stands by and that I believe in 100%, and that's to be present and not perfect. And what that basically means is being a father, you just want to be present in your child's life. And that doesn't mean you got to be perfect, but you just have to be there. Be there for them and give them that stability as the father figure of your household. Oh wow, when I found out my wife was pregnant, it was a breath of fresh air. When you find out you're about to have a child on the way, it's a blessing that you can't put into words. So when we found out baby Hunter was on the way, I was overjoyed and couldn't wait to meet my little bundle of joy. Wow. When I saw the crown of baby girl's head, that's when I knew it just got real. And that's when I knew the blessing was here. And that feeling of accomplishment and bringing another life into this world is a feeling that I really can't put into words, but it's an incredible feeling. And all the parents out there, if you have children, you know what I mean. Oh man, I was fortunate to be able to catch all of that. The first step, I caught all of that. I caught when I took her first steps. I actually was able to film a video of her taking her first steps. So the first time she took her first step, the first time she said, "Dad," I caught all that. I was around for everything. I was around for all that. So that moment was very special to me. And I really am glad I was able to experience that as a father. First time I heard her say "Dad," and the first time she took her first steps. Actually, she said "Dad" first. When she said "Dad," it was more like "Dad, Dad, 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 Dad." So when she said that was probably a remarkable moment that I cannot forget. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. It was truly a beautiful moment, and one that I do not take lightly. And I'm glad I was there to be present to experience that as a father. And shout out to baby girl, baby Hunter. Said "Dad" first. She said "Dad" first. I did not handle the first green diaper explosion well. It was traumatic, and my wife had to guide me through it. But I made it. I made it okay, but I did not handle it well. I can be honest about that. Shout out to the wifey for guiding me through that first blowout. Salute to the fathers out there. Which one is a national holiday? I had to say Mother's Day. I just had to keep it 100, to be honest. Shout out to the mothers out there. To make a relationship work, I think you need to have communication and understanding, because I think those are two things that you really need to be able to have a successful relationship, marriage, situationship, partnership, however you want to draw it up. But I think communication and understanding. It's not going to always be great and good. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days, but you can have that understanding that it's a bigger goal. I think those are the two keys to a successful relationship. Shout out to the black men, all the black brothers out here who hold it down, holding their family down. The father figures and the great husbands. Shout out to all of you guys. Grab Your Success from Slipping Away is a book that it's a step-by-step guide to help you identify what success means for you. Because let's just be honest, success to each and every one looks different. The way I value and see success may be different from the way you value and see success. So in the book, Grab Your Success from Slipping Away, I go step by step and teach you how to find what success means to you. Well, to help you be successful, I would have you identify and define what success means to you. So first and foremost, I would sit down with you and say, what's your definition of success? How does success look to you? Is that you sitting on the beach with your family? Is that you having a big house, a big mansion? Is that you having 10, 12 cars? Is that you being a millionaire? So we'll identify what success looks like to you, and then we'll go from there to help you identify and ultimately grab your success. One of my ambitions is to definitely work with Tyler Perry. Mr. Perry has done a phenomenal job in his space, actively becoming a billionaire, as well as Jay-Z being a big figure in their space. So being able to work with those two individuals on a business level is definitely a goal or ambition of mine. So hopefully I can make that happen. Shout out to Tyler Perry and Jay-Z. Yeah, I think you definitely should break down your goals into smaller goals, starting with a 6-month plan, then a year plan, a 5-year plan, and then a 10-year plan as well. But everything you do now is for the future. So your 6-month goals should help catapult you to your year goals. And your year goals should catapult you to your 5-year goals and ultimately your 10-year plan as well. So all of them build on each other, but you want to start with a solid financial foundation and go from there. Ambitions and goal as a father is just to be present and not perfect. Be there for Hunter every step of the way. Guide her, teach her, and allow her to grow into her presence as a beautiful young woman. That's the plan. To be the best husband I can, to learn every day as I still am. Try to communicate more efficiently and be more understanding, and be a present husband as well. I am Positive B. White, father, husband, author, businessman, CEO. Check me out on social media, on Facebook, IG, Twitter, at Positive B. White. Be sure to follow me there and check your boy out on Conversations with Positive B. White. I would love for you to be my next guest. Can't wait to have you. Join me on Conversations with Positive B. White. We talk faith, passion, perseverance, and so much more. Can't wait to have you. I'll see you soon. This is the new look for Conversations with Positive B. White. It's an intimate feel. I can't wait to have you. Check out this background. It's beautiful, it's phenomenal. So come on to the space. Let's have an intimate conversation, and I'll see you soon. This is the new look. Shout out to my boy DJ Emotion, FYP Productions. It's going up this year, 2023 and beyond. Let's go. Shout out to the Falcons, the Georgia Bulldogs, Atlanta Hawks, and the 2021 World Series champs, the Atlanta Braves. A-Town, stand up. Boy, Positive B. White, and I want to welcome you back to Conversations with Positive B. White. How are you handling the dating?
I'm done. Basically, I've been very blessed being in the situations that I've been in.
Excuse me, I don't want businesswoman. I want to say serial entrepreneur. She does.
And then I also want to get into it, fatherhood.